Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, I want to talk about my November TBR. So I don't normally do a lot of TBR videos, but I've done one for last month, for October, and I want to do one also for November. It's because I feel like in the autumn there are these amazing read-alongs, month-long read-alongs that I'm always excited to participate in. For October we had Victober and I made a TBR for that, but November is also another exciting month, especially if you like non-fiction books, because November is the month for Non-Fiction November, which is hosted by Olive from A Book Olive. I will link her channel below, and it is a month where you read non-fiction books. So we are encouraged to read more than what we normally read. So if you don't read at all, you can read one. If you read on and off non-fiction, you can try to read more, or you can try to read exclusively non-fiction books. I really enjoy reading non-fiction books, and I have read on and off a few this year, not as many as I wanted to, and especially not as many as I should, considering the amount of non-fiction books I have on my shelves. It's quite disturbing, but I'm hoping to remedy that a little bit in November, and I have picked 3 from my shelves to read for that. I also have 2 fiction books here I want to talk about because I want to read these 2 in preparation for a movie coming out. But in honor of Non-Fiction November, I'm gonna start with the non-fiction books first. And the very first one I want to talk about is The Last Girl by Nadia Murad. And I also believe one of you has recommended this to me. But ever since that, I also made a video about my memoirs by women TBR, in which I included this one. I think I filmed that some months ago, so if you haven't checked it out and you're interested to learn about more memoirs by women, then I will link it in the cards but also in the description below. This also has a foreword by Amal Clooney, so I would be interested to learn what Amal Clooney has to say about it as well. But this is the story of Nadia, who grew up in a northern Iraqi village. It was a village of shepherds and farmers, I believe. So she had really a quiet existence there, and among her family and neighbors and the community. And then one day the ISIS attacked the village and basically massacred everyone she knew, including her mother and her brothers. And she was taken captive and she was traded as a sex slave among the ISIS fighters. The next one is a non-fiction, and it is White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. And it is subtitled Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism. So I'm sure you have seen this book around a lot, especially last year. There were a lot of books circulating on BookTube about what books to read when it comes to educating ourselves about the Black Lives Matter movement in general. So I picked this up and I haven't gotten it to it yet, but I think Non-Fiction November is the perfect time to pick this up. It is 150 pages long, so it's not such a long one. So I think I will probably manage to finish this next month. And managing to finish things is kind of hard for me because I still feel that I'm in a kind of a reading slump, and that my telephone overtook my spare time, which is normally my reading time. So I'm still struggling to get back to the habit of reading a bit more, I guess. Anyway, I haven't done a wrap-up in quite a while, and I'm kind of dreading it because now I have a lot of books accumulated. I believe the last wrap-up I did was in July, so August, September, and now October, 3 months. At least 10 books. But anyway, without any further ramblings, the third book I picked up, I'm not sure I'm gonna pick up anything on this cover because it's white, but it's in white embossing on a white background. It says Quiet by Susan Cain. And this is subtitled The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. And I know that I ramble on a lot, and it says here introverts in a world that can't stop talking, but I am an introvert, so I am interested to learn more. Even though over the years I picked up a lot of information about introverts versus extroverts, or maybe it's not a versus thing, I don't know. But I'm hoping still that this book is gonna give me some more insight into introversion and why introvert people are also really important for society, despite society placing too much emphasis on extroverts. And despite society wanting all introverts to turn themselves inside out and become extroverts, which is something I learned and I think a lot of introverts learn because we need to. Anyway, it says here, for far too long, those who are naturally quiet, serious, or sensitive have been overlooked. The loudest have taken over, even if they have nothing to say. Well, I'm not sure that the loudest have nothing to say. They probably do, but it's nice to have it put like that, you know. It's funny a bit. Anyway, those are the three nonfiction ones I have on my TBR. And then the movie Passing is coming out, and for that I have purchased Passing by Nella Larsen. So I didn't know that this is gonna be such a short one. So I think it's 100 pages, not even that. 113 pages. So this is gonna be a great one to read. I've been meaning to read this for a while now, especially because since I've kept hearing about how The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett is based on this one. And reading the two premises, I can really tell why. Because this is about a woman who has kind of broken with her family because she even though she comes from an African American family, she can pass as white. So she does so and she marries a white man. But then I guess things happen. And then this is about sisters. This is about twins, one of which also is passing as white and has married a white man who doesn't know of her African-American heritage, while her sister, I think, has embraced her heritage and has a black child or something like that. It says here, many years later, one sister lives with her black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape. Across the country, the other secretly passes for white, and her white husband knows nothing of her past. I think these are gonna be good to read together, even though will they be too similar? Yes, this was written in 1929. So yeah, this is kind of like a modern classic, or a classic, I would say. And then this one came out last year, I believe, and it was quite hyped. So I'm excited to get to this as well. So these are all the books I have picked out for November and nonfiction November. And I really hope I can get to these, especially since two of these are quite short. And yeah, I'm currently reading a Victorian novel, Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon, and that's going a bit slowly for me. I just don't know, the story is dragging a bit. I guess I'm just not used to reading Victorian mysteries because they're a bit more slow-paced. But hopefully I'll finish that by the end of October, and then I'll have a fresh start with these books for November. But let me know what the books you're planning to read in November, and if you're participating in Nonfiction November. Do you like to read nonfiction books? I think there's so many great ones and so many absorbing nonfiction books out there. And yeah, this is where I will leave you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.